Before the show, we've got a sponsor, a game that has an endless amount of content, from PvP to PvE, and it's constantly adding new challenges and characters, like the Asgardians Loki and Thor, and even characters from the dark world of Alice in Wonderland. Have you guessed the game? No? Well, use the link in the description to download it and get the best start possible with our exclusive code RAIDPC2. That's right, join millions of players on Raid today. Hello, welcome to Death Battle Cast. Hopefully, with audio this time. We make it work.
Don't worry.
9 times out of 10. Yes, I see people in chat. Selena84, I thought I did something wrong. Yeah, this is your fault. So
Don't blame me.
No. Thank you for jumping into the new stream. We're getting into a very interesting matchup today. One from a pitch that I don't know. I feel like is going to maybe go some paths and curves that people aren't going to be expecting. So we'll see how this goes. But hey, I'm Ben, joined by Chad and Liam and Sam as per usual. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Oh, hello. I was just reading chat. Sorry. Yeah.
Liam, are you doing a bit right now? I swear to God.
No, Liam's not doing a bit.
I hope not. I hope his mic just doesn't work for the rest of this. That'd be great.
Hey, Ben wins. Nice.
Yeah. Because I will be representing Atom Smasher
No, it's not working, Liam.
From the Cyberpunk games, and Liam will be representing Cyborg from DC. Assuming that we can actually get him to talk.
Also, we're back live again.
Just to confirm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
as you can see, we're definitely live.
Yeah, we're very technical difficulty out of our gourd right now, but that's okay. Because we're here. It's Tuesday, and I feel like it's commonplace for us, sadly. So that's normal.
Specifically on Tuesdays. Maybe we should change Death Battle Cast to Wednesday, so that'll fix all the technical difficulties, right?
Yeah, it's secret propaganda for me to get Wednesdays.
Okay, now how is it now?
Wow, you sound like you're a mile away.
Okay.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, shut up.
I don't know what the hell you did there, but that's fine.
The Motive app keeps fucking muting me, like randomly. It was fucking working before, and it keeps muting me. I'm sorry. I'm emotional.
Well, there's probably a setting that you have.
Yeah. No, I have to go in and I have to press unmute.
Yeah, but go to Motive and make sure that you don't have like M set as the mute hotkey, and you're just typing stuff to people and muting yourself sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Is that actually a thing?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Killing. Okay, I'm in New York. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I fucking said is that I'm back in New York. I'm in an Airbnb right now. It's a lovely place. It's all.
Have you seen people on the street yell at each other yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, yeah. It's like
in the accent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, it happens.
Nice.
The yelling accent.
It's like rats carrying pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of here! I'll fucking kill you. I'll kill your whole fucking family.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Murder your children.
Great. When you yell at people, do you
put it on ever?
Like slip into the accent?
No, my voice gets even higher than it normally is, and it's like, hey, stop it! Like a caterwaul.
One of these days, you'll get so ingrained over there that it'll just become natural to you. And then I look forward to the day when on Death Battle Cast, Liam just unnaturally slips into like a really harsh New York accent. It'll be great.
Hey, fuck. Yeah, sometimes. I've done the I am walking here. I've done that before.
How long do you think you need to live in New York before you're allowed to hit someone with hey, I'm walking here?
A month. Like a month.
Oh, really? That's a really low bar.
This is a welcoming city. This is a city
not
of
much
immigrants.
gatekeeping. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
I got a super chat from C4. Why does the Tournament of Champions have to be changed to something else? The tournament was a lot of fun. Why change that? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We haven't announced like what we're going to be doing, but we would love to do a Tournament of Champions style thing again. So, yeah, just stay tuned for that. We'll see how that goes. But yes, thank you for the super chats, everybody. I do think, just generally speaking, we'd like to do something a little different, every time we do something of that nature. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we have we have a matchup to talk about, potentially multiple matchups this week. We'll see how this goes. That is a pitch that we got quite a while ago, kind of early on in the whole pitch series, I think. That really kind of piqued our interest because we hadn't really seen it before. And that is Cyborg from DC Comics, you know, the guy, the robot man, versus another robot man who you may or may not know called Atom Smasher. Atom Smasher is from the Cyberpunk games, most recently Cyberpunk 2077 and Edge Runners. Hey, well, I didn't even realize that this was announced when we were planning to do this, but Edge Runners 2 was just recently announced, which is crazy. So fun timing that. Yeah, so I already see people in chat saying like, well, I think there's better matchups for these guys. And that's, I think, part of what this discussion is going to be, because even in the pitch, the person who was giving us this pitch was like, I don't know if Cyborg necessarily works here. I just want to see these two in death battle. So what this, I think, is going to turn into is us kind of doing a dive into how this matchup might look, but also, do you know what Cyberpunk is? Because, like, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 came out recently, right? It's been like over what, 2 years, 3 years now, which is crazy considering what happened when that launched.
5.
But
wasn't it 2020?
is it 5 years? Oh my god, time.
Shit.
But Atom Smasher may be in that game. He may be in Edge Runners, but he's not from it. He's from Cyberpunk 2020, the tabletop RPG. And so I am representing Atom Smasher today, and I read through, at least read as much as I could, of Cyberpunk 2020 in preparation for this. So I'm going to be giving you the deets on how Atom Smasher actually is on the text, because I think it would be super fun to do a death battle with like an RPG character, and we like analyze the actual stat block of the character. I think that would be super fun.
Yeah,
So
it
that's what I'm
matters.
going to be doing with Atom Smasher.
Canon.
Yeah, thank you, Lily, Joe, and Michael for the super chats. But yeah, you'll see. Ben learned a lot, so you'll learn a lot soon.
Yeah,
Talking a big
it's
talk.
yeah, we'll see. Also, I think there might be a way that Atom Smasher could cheese us out.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough. But we'll start this off by talking about Cyborg. So if you don't know, if this is your first time joining us for Death Battle Cast, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us live. We do this live every Tuesday at noon. And we argue about characters. And at the end of the show, you guys get to vote on who should win a death battle. So, Liam, we'll get to Cyborg in just a second. I do also want to mention that we are going to be doing our membership extended show at the end of Selena Ben. It's now officially called Cyberpunk Red. That's the new Cyberpunk game. It's technically different. There are different rules, but the modern Cyberpunk, the updated Cyberpunk game is Cyberpunk Red. Atom Smasher actually hasn't appeared in Cyberpunk Red yet. As far as I can tell, there's no stat block for him in Cyberpunk Red. Although the Edge Runners mission set might count. It kind of uses those rules. But I'll get to it. So we're gonna do our membership exclusive like post show live after this cast. So stick around for that. If you are a base 4 member, just a reminder that the base 4 membership tier is ending at the end of this month. July 31st is the last day for the base 4 membership. So if you want to keep that badge, if you want to keep the membership, first of all, we appreciate it. And second of all, you can upgrade to a higher tier by the end of this month to keep it.
Yeah, just
we
go
will
to
also
the
be
thing that says,
introducing
like,
new things
see
by then.
membership perks or whatever, and then you should be able to upgrade your membership.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so before I get into the craziness of Cyberpunk, let's just set a baseline. Liam, can you tell us a bit about Mr. Cyborg?
Yeah.
Why can I not remember his real name? I can't remember his real name for some reason.
Vic Stone. It's okay.
Victor
no
Stone.
one
Yes.
calls him fucking Victor Stone. No one cares about his real name. So
people call him Victor.
Yeah, sure, whatever. So Victor Stone, they call him Booyah. That's what he calls himself. He's like a Pokemon. Cyborg used to be Victor Stone, or is Victor Stone, who was a budding athlete, the son of a scientist who was injured in this horrible accident. What that accident is changes between continuities. Most recently, in the post-crisis or post-New 52 era, it was an invasion of an apocalypse on Earth. This mother box explodes on him, or this father box, I forget which one. And he basically fuses with it and becomes a half man, half robot kind of guy. In his original pre-crisis form, he's basically just a cyborg with like kind of normal cyborg powers, and I think that worked just fine. He was a member of the Teen Titans. He's very strong. You know, he could shoot sonic beams. In the New 52 and Beyond era, they made him a fucking robot god. He does computers more than anybody has ever done computers in their fucking life. He's absurdly powerful because they wanted to make him a founding member of the Justice League, and they upped him to kind of be more broken, at least like on paper, than like any other League member. Like he's sort of like Martian Manhunter, where he can do fucking anything. And he's like seemingly more impressive than some of the like characters like Superman, who are like just really strong guys. Cyborg is crazy fucking powerful. He is, if you have technology against him, you're fucked. It's actually a disadvantage, which makes him really like well paired against any of his normal opponents, because they're all, you know, robot people, and it's like you're done if you have robot shit. Cyborg, I think, just absolutely fucks on Atom Smasher, just destroys him.
So specifically post-crisis, like modern, or
post-crisis is still robot guy, because pre-crisis and post-crisis, he was introduced so close to the end of the crisis era.
Yeah,
that the pre-crisis era.
I think I meant New 52.
Kind of the same.
Like New 52 era Cyborg is when he got godlike hacker powers or whatever, right?
He's crazy.
Prior to that, what is he like?
Prior to that, he's like, he has super strength. You know, he can do some hacking. He can shoot like laser beams. He has like various kinds of technology, but it's more what you would expect from Cyborg. If you've seen the Teen Titans cartoon, that's like pre-New 52 Cyborg, basically speaking. He's not as crazy busted because he's just a member of the Teen Titans. He's not supposed to be as busted as a League member, but they made him a League member very much in the.
So now he has to be crazy powerful.
Now he's crazy. Yeah, and we're gonna get into it.
Absolutely. I'm curious, like, I don't know, I'm sure there's some documentation on this somewhere, but like why he was chosen specifically. I guess they didn't have like a tech guy, right? Although Mr. Terrific could have been chosen, right?
I think it was a play at diversity. I think they were like,
sure,
all of these characters are white. And
yeah, because obviously,
I was about to say,
you look at old school Justice League.
Well,
I mean,
you have some of the smartest people on the planet. Like, I'm pretty sure they can do tech. You know, like
sure, but like I mean specifically why Cyborg of all of them. Like again, Mr. Terrific would have also filled that. So
right.
I don't know.
Oh, Mr. Terrific is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I'm I think he was really popular because of the cartoon, because of the Teen Titans cartoon.
Oh, I think they wanted to bring in. That's how could
he's arguably the most popular character from that, I would say.
Yeah.
They're all popular, but Cyborg is like awesome.
That's right.
I don't know. Raven's also pretty popular, but yes, like definitely Teen Titans hit.
But Cyborg still ain't got nothing on Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man.
What?
He definitely has nothing on Animal Man. Animal Man.
Sure. Is there a Mineral Man?
No, he's one guy.
Okay.
No, it's
one guy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Atom Smasher. All right. So yeah, I feel like one of the tricky things about Cyborg is finding a good matchup for him, because a lot of the matchups for him, I saw somebody mention Android 17 earlier in chat. It's just like, well, if he's fighting a robot, then he wins, right? Like, so you can't necessarily put him against a robot, which then kind of creates this weird sort of scenario where it's like, well, okay, what makes sense as a matchup? Are we going to pit him against somebody who just doesn't have robotic parts, but then doesn't it like kind of
Cyborg
seem like an odd pairing? Like
the Amish.
Yeah. The most untechnological person ever. So okay, Atom Smasher, unfortunately for him in this matchup, is a big robot man. So knock one down for him already. But he didn't start out that way. So Adam Smasher is started off as a former military ops. He got discharged from the military, and for being a rude boy, or a really big rude boy, because he's this massive hulking man who just really, really likes killing people. So he's essentially a mercenary who is so brutal, so violent, and so effective at what he does that he eventually had this sort of like he's a mercenary in the cyberpunk world where he has a rule for any job that he is given. And the rule is collateral damage must be allowed. Not only allowed, but encouraged. He like will only do a mission if he is allowed to just fuck everybody
Kill
shit.
indiscriminately.
Target.
Like,
Kill everyone.
Nice. Awesome.
So he's he's a horrible person.
Could you get me some
But-
eggs from the supermarket, Adam? Could you just like Could you
I
wait?
feel
No.
like-
That's not
Yeah,
what
only
exactly.
if
He's a horrible person, and just like most D&D players in this era, for sure.
Oh my gosh, he is the perfect
He's
murder
the
hobo,
murder
right?
hobo, yeah. He's just like,
Also, so yeah, I'll get into the RPG elements in a bit, but eventually he got blown up on a mission that left him as basically this like husk, right? He was just basically flesh. But this company that he had done work for, Arasaka, they're kind of like the villains often.
you
in
gotta have the
Cyberpunk.
evil corporation.
Yeah, it's the evil. There are multiple evil corporations. It's a cyberpunk series, right?
Right.
But Arasaka was like, "Hey, man." Somehow he's still alive, even though he's just this hunk of flesh. They're like, "Hey, man, we'll rebuild you as a big walking robot murder machine if you do some work for us." And he was like, "Yeah, whatever. I just want to kill more people." So they turned him into they call it like full Borg. Essentially, it's a full body conversion that turns him into mostly machine. And over the years, he's become more and more machine. All that's left is like a little bit of his head. The rest of his body is this like
It's like RoboCop.
mechanized. Yeah, he's RoboCop, but if RoboCop went really, really bad, and also did not care about his lack of humanity. The cop comes up to him and goes, "Murphy, is that you?" And he goes, "Fuck you. No, of course not."
Die.
So
It kills everyone.
yeah, so that's Adam Smasher's basic thing, and he's just a walking killing machine, with a huge selection of
big
weaponry,
asshole.
all the stuff that you've seen in Cyberpunk. And I mean, it's your typical firearms and whatnot. But what's interesting to me is going back into Cyberpunk 2020 and seeing his original stat block when he was first introduced. And so I went through like the rule set of Cyberpunk 2020 to see how powerful this guy really is, because like. Sure, maybe you've seen Edge Runners where he shows up and just fucking bodies everybody. Like even against spoilers for Edge Runners, the main character in Edge Runners has a like cyber skeleton suit that was originally designed to be essentially Adam Smasher's next body. I guess he didn't need it because Adam Smasher just meets this guy and beats the ever-loving shit out of him. It's just a no contest, right? He just wins. There's just no way David could ever match up to him. It's kind of crazy, like how one-sided the fight is. And then he also just kills basically everybody else that stands up against him in the series. It's horrifically violent. Adam Smasher's terrible. The one good thing, if this does become a matchup, I think that everybody would agree on is it'd be nice to see Adam Smasher actually die, because he also does some fucked up shit in Cyberpunk 2077. But you can actually fight him and defeat him in that if you are strong enough.
Can you kill him?
So,
Do you kill him in 2077?
yes, you can kill him, though it is, well, given the status that Cyberpunk was launched in as, originally he was apparently like really easy to kill.
Yes.
But later on they improved it and made him actually difficult. So he's now one of the toughest, if not the toughest fight in the game.
Get how many people in the chat now just want to see Adam Smasher versus RoboCop.
Adam Smasher versus Well, I mean, RoboCop's fucked.
That's not bad.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what RoboCop does against this guy. Maybe I don't know. It's been a while since we've looked into RoboCop.
Who knows?
Well, no, RoboCop's fucked because of this one extra thing. So
Okay.
maybe the like really big so like he's got all these weapons and whatnot. I don't know if it's necessary to dive into. They're just guns and explosives and whatnot. You know how they work.
Sure,
Just
yeah.
they're sci-fi versions of them, right? Or cyberpunk versions of weapons and grenades. But also in cyberpunk they get like upgrades and things like that to their bodies. And the big one for Atom Smasher is, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Sandevistan, which is essentially slows down time. There are multiple different kinds of Sandavistans that you can pick up throughout the game. They exist in the RPG as well, the tabletop RPG. And they essentially slow down time and allow you more chances to get critical hits and things like that. The most powerful one slows down time by 80%. And it's shown in Edge Runners to be probably even more than that, because David has one hooked up to his system. He's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna be this like crazy powerful cyber, badass who slows down time and nobody can stop me. And then he activates it when he's fighting, before he fights Atom Smasher. And then Atom Smasher fires his gun and then starts doing it as well. And he slows down time so slow that like the gun is still in mid-fire, like the bullet's still coming out of the barrel, as multiple Atom Smashers are just appearing essentially. It is a crazy time slow.
Can we clarify? It doesn't, like, it's not just like their perception of time and they can move super fast. It like actually slows time. We don't know.
No, I think it boosts their reactions. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like,
I believe it's
thing,
a perception thing.
Right.
I believe it is a perception thing, although it's tricky because like in the game, time still flows as normal, but like when he uses it against you in 2077, time around you still flows as normal, but he's moving super fast. When you use it in the game, time slows down. So I think it's a perception thing, but really, I guess it doesn't matter because, like, technically speaking, it would have the same effect regardless.
Same result.
Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily. I don't believe there's any evidence that it is like altering time. I guess.
But it boosts all of your abilities so that you can perceive and move in like as if it was super slow mo.
Yes, as if you were in slow motion.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about his stats in Cyberpunk 2020 because he's super strong in Cyberpunk 2077, but in Cyberpunk 2020, he is fascinating. So the way stats work in 2020, there are a couple different stats: intelligence, reflexes, technology, coolness factor, attractiveness. Yeah, you can numerically establish your attractiveness.
Thanks,
luck, movement attribution, body, and empathy. For the record, his empathy stat, it's usually a number between 2 and 10. His
0.
empathy stat is yeah right ... It's not even a number.
You again, Van.
Which is good because empathy in 2020, there's like a whole humanity system where if your empathy isn't high enough, certain things that you do can like really fuck you up. So he just completely ignores that. He could do horrible shit and it has no effect on him because he's a robot with no humanity. His attractiveness stat also has no number. Apparently, he is the ugliest motherfucker alive.
Pretty ugly.
Well, I mean, he's kind of transitioned past the like human looking scale anyways. Like he's more
yeah. I don't really know how you in Cyberpunk Red they got rid of the attractiveness stat. So it's one of those things. This game was released in 1988. So it's a time. So his intelligence, the average stat that you can get when you are building a character in Cyberpunk 2020 is around 5 or 6 because you basically roll a 1d10 and you get from there. The lowest you can have is 2, highest you can get is 10. 10 is like superhuman, right? So the average is like 5 to 6. So his intelligence is 4. He's not like, the most clever guy. His basic plan for any situation is go kill the problem. So he doesn't need to be
everything around it.
But yeah, exactly. And also his tech ability is 4. It's lower than average. He is a robot man, but he is not the like guy behind the robot suit, right? Which frankly is what Cyborg was as well. Cyborg has kind of just become super smart, but like before he became a robot man, he was just a jock, right? I guess he could be a super smart jock. I don't necessarily want to like throw out that
stereotype,
possibility.
man. Stereotype.
But his coolness factor is a 7 because, of course, being a horrible murdering badass, I guess, is kind of cool.
Super
Um,
cool.
And
In that
then his
world,
luck
yeah.
is a 4, so he's
Murder is
average.
cool.
Those stats don't
kids.
really
No,
matter.
in this world too.
The stats that really matter are his reflex stats, so his ability to just dodge, do things super quick, move quickly. If the maximum is 10, 10 is like superhuman, peak human. He's 15.
Okay.
There's already way higher than you could become in the game.
Yeah.
His movement attribution, basically how far and fast he can move in a single turn, is 20. So
Jesus.
in this game where you can get up to 10 in speed, he has twice that. So there's just no fucking way you can ever catch up to this guy. If you try running from him, he will catch up to you.
Okay.
There's no way to run away from him. And then his body stat, and this is where things get really interesting. His body stat is 18. So again, max is 10. He's at 18. And I believe 18 is the maximum possible you could get with this system without it completely fucking breaking. Because the way like damage works in Cyberpunk 2020, they don't have like hit point pools, right? It doesn't work the same way as like D&D where you have this like hit point pool that you reduce. The way it works is it uses a wound system. And the more times you hit somebody, whenever you deal damage to them, you deal wounds. And a person, a player or a creature or whatever cannot die until it reaches a certain number of wounds. And once it reaches a certain number of wounds, then it starts rolling death saves and also stun saves. And the stun save you roll a d10 and you have to roll under your body score. He's got an 18 in body. And you're rolling a d10. The maximum you can roll is a 10. Yeah. Now, the more wounds you have, it does reduce. You get a penalty. It's like -1, -2, -3, or whatever. But it takes 37 wounds to get to a -9, which is what he would need in order to even have a potential for rolling a failed death save. Because that would put his body like score to roll at a 9 at that point. And even then, he would have to roll a 10. So 1 through 9, he'd still survive. So it takes 37 hits to even make him possibly killable. And even then, he could just chance. You have a 1 in 10 chance. And the guy also, the way
and he's super fast. How do you hit him?
He's super fast. How do you hit him? He's also wearing crazy armor. So in order to deal a wound, you have to first bypass their armor. And his armor score essentially, so the way it works is depending what armor you have a stopping power, which reduces any damage that you take. So if you have a stopping power of 10, then if you deal 15 damage to somebody, you actually deal 5 because 10 of that damage was stopped. His stopping power is 42. So you have to deal 43 damage to him in a hit in order to do anything. But not even that, because his body score, there's another factor to the body score, which it reduces further damage because he has an 18 in body. I'm not sure if there's a maximum of 5, but it might be 9. A further 9 to the stopping power. I'm gonna say it's 5, just to because that's the highest I can see in the book. Which means his stopping power could be like 47. Like the amount of damage you have to deal to this guy to just wound him at all is crazy. So if we apply pure rules from the game, Cyborg's fucked. If Cyborg is playing Cyberpunk 2020 specifically. Also, fun fact, the best armor you can get in Cyberpunk 2020 is called Metal Gear trademark.
Okay.
Nice.
It's literally Metal Gear TM.
Like, wow.
Let me catch up on some super chats real quick before Liam pops back off. Lily says Robocop defeated Skynet in the Dark Horse comic. That's interesting.
Oh, in the crossover.
Elgato is wondering if Homelander or if Atom Smasher is going to get the Homelander treatment. And then Family Leader popped in just to say that they couldn't stick around, but they gifted out 5 memberships because Family Leader's a homie. And then let's see.
Thank you,
Papa
Vammy.
Corn.
I'm never gonna say that again.
Okay. I propose Adam Smasher fight Uber Jason from Jason X. Hell yeah!
That's fun.
Merciful Cyber Killer versus Merciful Cyber
That's
Killer.
actually
I can
sick.
picture Adam getting pissed at Jason for stealing his kill. Yeah, no, that's great.
Man, Jason
any excuse
X,
to talk about Jason X. That movie is so
best in the
wonderfully bad.
franchise for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually what I'd like everybody in chat to start thinking about is like, well, first of all, Liam,
Yeah.
in your opinion, is there a version of Cyborg that makes sense for this matchup?
Probably Teen Titans Cyborg, but you won't get away with me not showing you some of these feats for comic book Cyborg.
Okay.
But Teen Titans Cyborg I think would be good. I think Teen Titans Cyborg fucking dunks on Adam Smasher, but I think it would be a much more fair fight because he's less busted. But you know, I mentioned that pre-52 Cyborg was not as powerful. But so I'll just give you a feat from that to give you sort of a baseline. Sam, could you bring up Cyborg 1, please?
Probably can. Lamo.
I'm trying, Batboy. I got 1 million decibels of pure sound blasting down there. So, okay,
my
Cyborg has a
God.
sound cannon, right?
That's
He has
not
a
a real
sonic
thing.
cannon. That's what his main attack. So, for those of you that did not watch Black Canary versus Sindel, my best episode,
Okay.
decibels are not do not scale geometrically. So like 100 decibels is not 10 times greater than 10 decibels. They scale logarithmically, which means that every time you increase the amount of decibels by 10, it's multiplied by 10. So 20 decibels is 100 times greater than 10 decibels. 30 is 1,000 times greater than 10. You get the idea. 1,000 is, I think, like 1 billion times greater, something like that. 1 million decibels. I was starting to kind of calculate this, but then we got to me, so but a lot.
It's
1,000
a lot.
In chat, Frostlad, not the decibels again.
Not the decibels. Yeah. 1 million decibels would be enough to collapse, I think, like essentially like 1 trillion universes.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, okay, just
No, it's
just to on like
Yeah.
a quick just Google, the loudest thing ever recorded is 310 decibels, and it could be heard 3,000 miles away. And this
Yes, that was, like,
logarithmically
the-
just goes up. Like 1 million decibels isn't, I don't think, a real thing.
Yeah, no, because at a certain point, obviously, it becomes a shockwave, right? It stops being sound. It starts being a shockwave.
That's what I mean by
The-
real thing. Like sound can't travel at that like gap of waveform.
Oh, sure, it can. It's just like nothing would generate that amount of nothing that exists in the universe is capable of generating that level of energy. The 300 decibels was from a volcanic explosion. I forget which one it is, but essentially it like killed everyone within 40 miles. Like everyone died, and the sound traveled across the earth like 4 times. Like you could be in like England and hear it. It was like that. That's
Yeah.
how like, and it happened in like Indonesia or something. The
Yeah.
million decibels would create like a black hole, essentially like a singularity that would eradicate the universe a cajillion times over.
So wait, say again, how many decibels is he producing?
1 million.
1 million.
Cool.
That plane
varies,
is
though.
not. That plane is not a plane anymore.
To be fair, to be totally fair, they did not know that when they were.
Oh,
To
God,
be
yeah.
totally
Yes.
fair, to be totally
Yeah.
fair, and maybe this throws a wrench into any death battle we've used decibels in. Maybe in the DC universe, decibels work differently.
Yeah,
It's
right?
possible that they work differently.
I mean, that's
then again,
no, it's not. It would have to, or like the ship that they're on, and like everyone would be exploding and dead. Like,
then again, if we're also being fair, he is able to like hurt Darkseid and like make Shazam bleed and stuff with these attacks. And that actually is relatively within range of what their
Okay.
durability is. So, that is to say, I'm not
Okay,
going to
so maybe it
rely
is
on that. But if
intentional.
you're gonna pull out your little armor thing or whatever, then we're gonna do that. Okay, so but Cyborg
Well-
is computers.
super
Yes,
quick because this is very
Chad.
interesting. First of all, the one said all that for Cyborg to just put limeware in his system. That was when Ben was going through all
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention. He does have Adam Smasher does have resistance to hacking. Lucy Edge
Yes, earplugs.
runners famously tries to hack and she hack him and
Okay.
she's a net runner. So
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
Cyborg
I
is
don't.
like
Yeah.
the #1 hacker of all hackers.
Cyborg can hack into lantern rings that even Dr. Manhattan struggled to like comprehend.
well, that doesn't make any
But-
sense at all.
What I wanted to say, Mayor of Gaming has a really interesting idea. Says, yeah, well, according to Cyborg's card from the Injustice game, a weaker version, he has a power of 46, defense of 72, speed of 41, and health of 57. Let's plug him into Cyberpunk.
Converting him into
Yeah.
Cyberpunk from another game with stats would be fun. That's a fun idea.
Okay,
right, go on.
so let's go through some of his powers. So Cyborg is connected to every single computer on the planet. He can hack physically, but he can also just hack mentally. As long as it's connected to some sort of internet, he can just do it with a thought. He can hack into literally anything. He can absorb technology just by touching it. Sam, that is going to be Cyborg #2. Literally just touching something, he can fuse with it and make him stronger. So if he just touches Atom Smasher is going to become part of Cyborg. And then he's going to overwhelm his like AI and like destroy it. He has an EMP, which can just shut down any technology. He has X-ray vision. His shield, he can like do force fields that can block attacks from other League members like Ultraviolet Lantern John Stewart. Ultraviolet lanterns are like the evil lanterns or whatever is one of the things. Just the lanterns. Because he fused with a father box or mother box. I know I think it's just a father box right now. Because he fused with a father box, he could open up boom tubes, which are portals essentially that can go anywhere in the universe. Or there's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that it'll send him to Apocalypse, which happens one time. But he can do it anywhere. He can just portal to anywhere. They're very loud. That's the boom. That's why they're called that. But he developed or got a hold of like a version of it called a hush tube, which does it like silently. So not even Superman can detect when he appears or
God.
exits. He can absorb energy. He can regenerate. He can come back to life. Like his regeneration is so intense that he died. Like his metal was destroyed. His body was like turned into like fleshy, like it was like a puddle on the ground, a puddle of like flesh and
Like
robot
Atom
shit.
Smasher.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then he just popped back to life and regenerated his entire body because he can also restructure his technology, his technological body at the molecular level. This is Cyborg 4, Sam. So he can create. So whereas like pre-crisis Cyborg could just like had different pieces of technology, now current Cyborg can just make any kind of technology that he can imagine. He's like a living Green Lantern ring in that sense.
With technology.
With technology, because his technology basically is like his flesh at this point. And then he fused with a mother box, which is which channels energy from the source, which is like the creative energy that powers comic books, basically. And then became connected to the entire multiverse. This is Cyborg 5, Sam. And that, so before where he could like
Christ.
connect to every computer in the world, right? That became magnified. He became connected to everything in the multiverse. So he understood like literally infinite possibilities. He understood everything about the multiverse and could channel energy from the entire multiverse, kind of like the Flash with the Speed Force. He's really strong. He's God.
Yeah.
He's robot
for the
God.
record, the biggest durability feat I could find for Atom Smasher. Get this. He got hit point blank by a
Truck.
5 kiloton nuke.
Oh,
Nice. Well, that's strong.
Which is
Yeah.
still strong. It's still impressive.
They
But
need
this
it-
image being up on screen while that said is quite funny.
just this
All right,
image
so-
here, like I can tell you they need a reboot again. They got to do another reboot. They're way too fucking far down. They got to reboot this shit again.
Yeah.
All right, we got some great super chats. Thank you everybody for the super chats. I
Yeah.
did see Aquino mention Cyborg versus the Thing. could be an
A lot of
interesting.
people
Yeah, we've
talking
talked about that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
absolutely. So
That'd be a fresh matchup, Ben.
normally I would put up a poll that's like, who do you think would win this matchup? This one's gonna be a little bit different. So there is now a poll up in the chat if you want to vote for that live. While we are doing that, I would like to tell you about the sponsor for today's episode, HelloFresh. We're in the middle of summer and it's the season of actually doing things. Who wants to waste time planning out breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week? God forbid you're doing it for the rest of the family. Especially with all the big movies coming out this month. You want to see Superman, you want to see Fantastic Four, you want to see the dinosaur one, right? Maybe. Apparently, a lot of people do. So make your summer both enjoyable and delicious by getting the #1 meal kit, as voted on by readers of USA Today, HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes right to your door. Like panko-crusted chimichurri barramundi or sun-dried tomato grilled cheese sandos. And I see what you're doing, HelloFresh. Every time I do an ad for you, you give me some food meal name that gets longer and longer, and eventually I'm going to mess one up.
Delicious.
I probably already have. But yes, they do sound delicious, and actually, they are delicious. Because HelloFresh uses high-quality ingredients that travel from the farm to your doorstep. The meals are simple to make with easy-to-follow recipe cards. Thank goodness, I need those. And they are very easy to follow, trust me. And they even have ready-made meals that you can prepare in just 3 minutes. And every week, they have 60 recipes to choose from, which means I'm certain you're going to find a bunch of options you'll enjoy. And if not, man, are you a picky eater. Calm down. So make your summer enjoyable and delicious by signing up for HelloFresh at hellofresh.com/cast10fm and get 10 free meals with a free item for life. That's hellofresh.com/cast10fm for 10 free meals and a free item in every box. hellofresh.com/cast10fm. One per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only and varies by plan. Thank you, HelloFresh. Let's see
Long-time
how
supporter.
the poll is going. Interesting. Okay. So the poll question was, is Teen Titans Cyborg a good matchup for Atom Smasher? And it's kind of mixed. We have 53% no. Interesting. Okay. So you
No
guys are like
fun
half and half
allowed.
on whether or not we should go Teen Titans Cyborg.
He would still win. He'd still beat his ass. I think Starfire has like a planet level feat in that, I believe, and basically all the Titans scale to each other. Like if you just went off of scaling, like not taking into context of their powers or anything, the strongest member of the Titans is Robin. Like he goes fucking insane. It's like a meme that happens
No.
on Twitter every once in a while where people are like, "Holy shit, he's so strong."
That's
He terrifies the
so
other Teen Titans
stupid.
members.
I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if I buy that.
Strongest physically. Raven is the strongest, like most powerful, like in terms of magic.
That's crazy.
Okay.
DJ's in
cool.
the chat talking about how the thing can physically box Hulk and Galactus. It has crazy resistances. So.
Yeah, things consistently fall.
Galactus?
I don't know about Galactus, but definitely Hulk.
That's crazy.
Okay, so all right. I think we've covered these characters pretty well. I definitely think both would be very interesting to bring into a death battle. There's also another matchup that we wanted to talk about. I don't know how long we'll be able to spend on this, but we had a pitch from our wonderful gelatin man that we wanted to talk about, featuring at least one character you've heard of. Chad, can you tell us about the character you wanted to talk about here?
Yeah, for sure. Also, HelloFresh helped El Cato out with playing for a calorie deficient diet. So El Cato's backing us up on the sponsorship.
Heck
That's
yeah,
awesome.
thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is a very
Wait,
fun
do we
call.
have a thumbnail for this, Sam?
Yeah, I
don't know.
made one. Yeah.
Okay, then let's go ahead and announce the matchup.
Lamb. Oh god, it's wrong size. Let me just fix that. There you go.
It's
You're
Philip
recognize
J.
that guy.
Fry versus
David
that
Lister.
guy.
Chad, do you want to start or should I?
Whatever.
I think really
like-
our point here should be that yes, we can talk about a death battle, but really we can talk about the crime that they never received a crossover episode, because two franchises have never been so ripe for such an opportunity.
Well, okay, hang on. Fry, I think most people know.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy?
David Lister is from a show called Red Dwarf, and so I may not be the absolute best person to talk about David Lister. I've watched a lot of Red Dwarf, but most of my and I love Red Dwarf, but I watched like all of it when I was like 17, and so it was a while ago. But yeah, it's a great
what
show.
is Red
It is.
Dwarf?
I mean, okay, so
We'll talk.
essentially,
So
yeah. Go ahead, Chad.
real quick, let's talk about where the characters make sense, right? Because
Uh-huh.
Fry was a pizza delivery boy from the 20th century that was frozen in time for 1,000 years, and then had to go on a bunch of space adventures as a space delivery boy in the future, right? That's Fry's base thing.
David Lister was a mechanic who essentially, I think he's in like cryosleep, but something happens and he ends up being the last human alive because it's been so long. And so it's just like him and robots and a space cat, and yeah.
Yeah, they also both have a robot like sidekick friend or whatever. Yeah.
They both somehow are related to themselves because Fry is his own grandfather.
Fry is his own grandfather, right? That's actually a very critical thing to.
So it's basically live action British Futurama.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is, and like so.
That's awesome.
Fry being his own
It's actually
grandfather
the best thing ever.
is like an important role of why Fry has like some actual unique powers to talk about. David being his own father is actually an important role in his character of why he has the exact same shit as Fry, pretty much. It's they have so many like parallel lines in their stories. It's ridiculous.
Gelatin Man is in chat and says the whole series is on Peacock.
Yeah. Also,
that was a big part of the pitch call of Gelatin Man. Like I'm gonna preach.
Sorry.
About Red Dwarf.
C4 just said JFK literally assassinated himself in Red Dwarf. What's going on in Red Dwarf?
There's some weird shit. There's some time loop stuff that happens. Also, they both were
Was
canceled.
he on the grassy knoll? Was he the second
JFK?
JFK?
They both also were shows that were like canceled for so long and then came back. Like it's they have a lot in common. A lot.
Cool. So I'm really curious because I know nothing about David Lister other than what Gelatin Man told us. But like, what level of powers are we talking here? Like, what does he do? Because Fry's got some stuff.
Yeah, the thing with both these characters is that they get what you kind of think I would think are a lot of like temporary powers. So like the same thing happens. Like Fry gets the worms from that gas station sandwich that makes him like a superhuman. David Lister, in I think a couple occasions, has micro bots in his system that make him a superhuman. But both of them seemingly lose that. Like if you're giving the Fry the worms, you're giving David the microbots, and it's like the exact same shit.
Well, Fry also has access to it. It would be a limited amount. I mean, it's like one tube of it. But from Zoidberg, he got Dr. Philbin's Miracle Cream.
Yeah, but it's used up. The plot of that is they use it all up.
Right.
And then they have to act like superheroes without superpowers.
Right. But I feel like they'd be able to, like, he'd get that, right? That would be part of his kit, right? Because we take him at like we look at their arsenal, right? Because anyway, whatever. That just to throw it out there, that makes Fry, super fast, and also like he's directly shot by a laser from a mugger, and it just bounces off of him. And blows up the wall.
They also both have ships that at times have like lasers and stuff capable of blowing up planets.
So that's the thing too. Gelatin Man mentioned that it's like there is a good opportunity to like bring in like their whole crews, which I think would be a little crazy, and I don't like that would be wild to talk about. But for the purposes of this one, we're just talking about Fry versus David. So does David have any kind of like mind control things or anything like that, like a ray or anything?
No, he doesn't have any ray stuff.
Okay, I was just interested because one of the benefits to Fry being his own grandfather is that you can't mind control him.
Yeah.
And they play it off like it's a stupid joke, but the actual reason for that is because he lacks a delta brainwave by being his own grandfather. And he, out of every, and he also, because of this, he there's a whole thing. He basically is an anomaly of time and space and is constantly living in a loop, and like he because of that isn't it's a whole
Yeah,
him
Why
being
does
his own
that?
grandpa.
Why does that mean he lacks a delta brainwave?
Because that's what they wrote.
yeah.
Okay.
That's how that works. Okay.
Like
So,
3
like,
years.
it's an
like,
episode with the
science,
brain
everybody.
slugs are
Yeah.
like getting everybody, and Fry's just like fine. And at first, they make a joke about it being stupid, but it's like later. It's
Also,
like,
yeah, they like David does have essentially a very similar thing in like his thing is that like because Fry's thing is he's destined to have a weird time anomaly thing. So is David. He's like a quintessential part of the time loop, and without him, time won't Big Bang again, and so like it can never restart. So it's like
What?
a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. In chat, Gloss Galore just says flat out, Lister is also God. Period.
Yeah.
Gloss, you gotta
is
give
he
me more
God?
context than that. What does that mean?
Yeah. What?
Also, Lily Mandergan says Lister scales to Rimmer.
Yeah. Okay. So
Nice. Who
Nice.
in his
Hell
Mighty
yeah, he
Light
does.
persona makes Flash look like Krillin.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Rimmer
And he
is
rims you?
No. Rimmer is I'm trying to get the robots because Rimmer is he's like a hologram of but like he can physically interact with everything just like a person, but he is and go like everywhere, but he is hard light. Yeah. So
Nice.
and he
Hard light rimming.
he's a hard light rimmer. Yeah.
let's see. So just a couple of things. So the episode Begin Again. Fry visits a planet where gravity is insanely intense, like way more than Earth. They state that a pillow weighs 150 pounds. So gravity is like 37 times greater than our own, and Fry just like walks around no problem. So
I wouldn't say no problem, right? But he does walk around.
yeah,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
would be insane.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Like-
doubting that. Yeah.
The super speed stuff, he's got two instances of that with the miracle cream and then also the famous coffee thing. Which this is always thing that would be very interesting. Like how do we work that in? Because
Unless
the
he
whole thing
can
is
drink 100 cups of coffee in the fight, I don't think it matters.
right? Well, that's why I would love Ben and Liam's opinion on this. And so that is that the whole episode is that he's gonna drink 100 cups of coffee, and so like at like by 99 he's like, I mean, just
Yeah.
like can barely like,
Yeah.
and then he drinks the 100, and it's like ding, and he has the Quicksilver moment, right?
Yeah.
He's running
Yeah.
around, plucking things out of the air, moving things around. They show a hummingbird in like complete slow motion, and we can count its wings and how fast they beat and all that stuff.
He's Metro Man.
Yes, but it's like. So like that is a huge feat for him. That is very awesome. But yeah, like it's like he has to drink 100 cups of coffee.
Could he potentially like get something from Professor Farnsworth that condenses that amount of caffeine into like a pill or something?
Yeah, like the ultimate 100 cups of
Yeah,
coffee.
100 cups
pill.
cup of coffee. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be
I
some
do think-
shrinking thing.
I just love the idea that throughout the whole fight, he's constantly running over to the coffee maker,
drinking
downing
coffee,
one,
yeah.
starting another
Yeah.
one,
Coffee
and then the
counter
fight
keeps
continues
going
and he
up.
goes back.
There is Kevin points out, or sorry, not, I'm looking at the wrong one. As Lily points out, some things, there's like a Terminator character, Space Terminator, they fight the like ultimate bad. And this is why I don't think, like, if you're gonna give Fry contextual stuff, you should also give David contextual stuff, like
Yeah.
and David then wins because he essentially has an Infinity Gauntlet for a while where it's just literally like wishes become true.
That's what they meant by he becomes God.
Yeah.
That's what Gloss is talking about. Okay.
It's been so long since that, but I do believe that it's specifically given up because it's just like, this is too powerful. I think they destroy it or they like leave it in throw it in a black hole or something like that. But it is like something he no longer has. But if it's just like he gets all his best stuff, this is not we don't even talk about the matchup because his wishes become reality. So it's like that flat out like
Scooby getting buried in a pile of Scooby snacks, but it's a coffee fountain. He just falls into a coffee fountain.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god. Okay. When Gelatin Man brought this to us as a pitch, I didn't know what to expect. I don't know anything about Red Dwarf until this this. All I know about this guy is that he's the same actor who was the dude in Robot Wars. That's all I know about him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, but this sounds like it could be very fun and very wild. And interestingly enough, it seems there are quite a few people in chat who are familiar with Red Dwarf. I was
Yeah.
fully
Well-
expecting the entire chat to be like, "What?"
If
No,
you
yeah, people
like,
are hyped.
well, also if you're like Canadian, it was on TV too, or English. But if you like Futurama, you should really go give Red Dwarf a try. They're like the same vibe, and it's a really fucking funny show. And they have some, especially in like the middle hunk, some crazy good seasons. Yeah.
I saw somebody in chat earlier say like, "Oh, this sounds like it's right up my alley. I like Orville." So
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. If you like Orville too, go watch Red Dwarf. I mean, it is, and also, it's hard to, it's easy to forget how old these franchises are. Both of them like start and are deep in the seasons on 4:3 aspect ratio. I forgot I went and watched a little, and I was like, oh yeah, 4:3, and then I was like, Futurama's not this old. The first 5 seasons of Futurama are also in 4:3. I was like, holy shit, like,
Are they really?
yeah, I know, right?
I mean, 4x3 wasn't that long ago, right? Like,
I think TV as a whole
Was it
switches
Switch?
over in like 2003 or 4 or something like that. Yeah,
I have them.
or
yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
maybe
it's
it
not
was a
long.
while. Maybe.
Yeah, because
we
it
are
starts.
old.
The
Okay.
whole point is like at Y2Ks is like when at it doesn't actually Y2K, but like in the year 2000, New Year's Eve night, Fry goes forward 1,000 years, right? And I believe it originally aired. The pilot aired that like on New Year's 1999.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Which is that's the year Fry was frozen.
Gelatin Man says they were meant to be a parody of Star Trek, but with no aliens to differentiate from them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Got it.
Interesting. All
I think
right.
the only
Well,
thing that-
okay.
the only thing I
Then
didn't- oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead, Chad, but I'm putting up a poll.
I was just gonna say, I think the only other thing in terms of like a strength thing, is that there you could get into like Bender scaling, which is like Fry's been hit by Bender so many times and survived. It's actually a whole thing. It's like one of the things that Bender really likes being his friend is because he has this weird durability and can take hits from shit, and it's hilarious to him. And like when Bender used his max power, he pushed the entire planet. So not saying Fry can
Did he?
also Fry has harmed Bender. And so I'm not saying Fry's to that level, but even if you were to cut that down a bit, that's still pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Fry also
Infinity
does get.
Gauntlet though, I got nothing for Wish
Yeah.
out of existence. But well, other than the fact that Fry is like a time anomaly, and I think that'd be interesting.
They're
This could get
I think-
really weird
well,
to explore. Like
the thing
We might
is,
have to set a precedent that they would have to be able to get the item again.
Yeah. Also,
Hmm.
there is a little bit of it where I think they're both canonically in their own stories so cosmologically important that other greater beings would show, like Nibbler would have to show up to defend Fry. Like there is a little bit of that too, where they're so cosmologically important that they're not the only ones looking out for themselves. So that would be like a fun aspect to talk about, like from a death battle aspect. Do we just like ignore that, or do we like add that in? Like
It's like a crew fight at first, but then it becomes like the cosmos come to their aid. Like, please don't do this.
yeah.
That's funny. I like that a lot. Okay, well, fascinating characters. It would certainly be a very, very different sort of matchup. Yeah, and feel free to get your votes in. It looks like Fry is currently winning this with 61% of the vote. But
popularity.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe just that, or
I-
maybe I don't know.
I will say-
maybe for some other reason.
One of the only
But-
differences, although they're very similar, and Lister is like a prolific slacker and just like lazy person in general, he is actually quite smart because he is like in a world where there are spaceships and stuff and is like a trained mechanic. He fixes a lot of the robots and stuff on the ship. Like he is quite smart, whereas Fry is canonically an idiot.
Well, it's weird about that because they'll say that, right? But then sometimes, so for example, him on it's the thing where he gets the robot's devil hands or whatever.
Yeah.
The robot devil's hands to play the holophoner, and composes like all these like crazy masterpieces, that wasn't because of the devil's hands. The devil actually says that he just has stupid fingers, but everything that he's composing is like complete musical genius.
So he's artistic.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily help him in a
Yeah.
death battle.
I mean, you need to be like have an intellectual level to understand composition and like, you know what I mean? Like you need to have intellect.
It is a level of genius, yeah.
Right.
Well, the Beatles didn't. They didn't really understand music theory, famously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, literally, it's actually crazy how they
Famously.
how much they did not understand.
Famously, the
Yeah.
Beatles were fucking morons.
Kind of, yes. They just sort of went like, this harmony sounds nice, and it was like the most beautiful, crazy thing you've ever heard. People still don't understand all the
Yeah.
harmonies. Like, yeah.
Yeah, there is an instinctual level to like artistry, right? Like you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
you can instinctually figure out like some element of music theory. Not all of it, obviously, but some element of it. So yeah, Fry could totally be that. He's the next Beatles.
Yeah.
All of
Oh,
them.
dude, yeah,
He's the
that's a good.
next
Also, Thor. It's a good point.
Paul
Like
McCartney.
Fry annually survives Robot Santa. Like, and that thing's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's wrap up the poll with 66% of the vote. You guys are leaning towards Fry at the moment, but it's obviously a matchup that has a lot of open-endedness to it. Who knows how that could actually go? I'm actually probably most curious if you guys want us to explore this as a fight, because like it'd be a very unique episode. So let us know in the chat and in the comments below. All right, if you are watching this live, we are going to be jumping into our champions only, our membership only stream in just a little bit. So stick around for that. Once we end this stream, it should kick you right over to that. Once it is ready to go. Thank you all for joining us for another Death Battle cast. This one was a weird one. We had some crazy, we had some highs, we had some lows, we had some no voice for a while, you know. Maybe we'll figure out how to control that more directly in the future. Ha ha ha. And then I'll win one of these for once.
Thanks for the super chats.
but-
They were all read even if we didn't get to call them out.
Yes,
Kinda
thank you
stupid.
so much. All right, we will see you in the champion cast in just a little bit, or in Ballot Banter, which is happening live tomorrow as well. Yeah, if you haven't joined one of those, we do Ballot Banter live on the YouTube channel every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central. Members can jump in as we go through this huge list of matchup ideas that you guys provided on the Discord, which you can access if you are a member by linking your Discord to your YouTube account. All right, I think that covers everything.
Bye.
Bye.